Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Ted Turner. Success leaves clues, kids. I just named 5 of the greatest names in business in the last 150 years. And they all have one thing in common. They're ball busters. They're hard as nails. Where does that leave you? I still work 50, 60 hours a week. And I haven't had to work in 35 years. You're not willing to do anything. You're not willing to sacrifice anything to be a high-performance person.
I don't want to be like that.
No, most people don't.
I want to be liked.
Yeah, well, see, you want to fit in. I'm the only speaker that you're ever going to hear that really, with all his heart, doesn't give a shit. If I leave here you liking me, I did something wrong.
If we would like to improve the quality of our lives, personally and professionally, what would be your advice? What can we do? What is most important?
Well, the most important thing is self-esteem. The people that we read about, the people that we admire, the Elon Musks, the Steve Jobs, the Warren Buffetts, etc., all have one thing in common. They have extremely high self-esteem. Of course, you've heard me say this before, self-esteem is built the first 7 or 8 years of life. And unfortunately, we're with our parents the first 7 or 8 years of life. Ergo, we don't have too much high self-esteem. But to build high self-esteem, and the way you build high self-esteem, if you're 25, 35, or 45, is to be around, surround yourself with other people that have high self-esteem. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And so you can reverse your childhood by who you associate with.
How do you do that?
Well, you find people that are where you want to be, but they're already there. You're 22 years old, you're 32, you're 41 years old, and there's a guy or a gal who's 45 years old who is where you want to be. They've accomplished a lot of things. If you're into, they're saving the world, they're using their money for good causes, go associate with those people, be around those people. And they're easy to find, but they're not going to knock on your door. They're not going to come to your apartment or your flat and ask you, oh, can I help you? And the best tool I've ever seen, it's like it was designed for this, is LinkedIn. It's the best social media tool for what we're discussing. And you can find these people. Now just remember, everybody that's on LinkedIn, all the, 20 million or whatever people that are on LinkedIn are all there for one reason. They're there because they want to do business, they want to meet people. Unlike some of the other social medias like Facebook or Twitter. But I mean, LinkedIn, they're there for a common purpose. They have a common bond. They have a common goal. They want to expand their horizons, and it's a great tool. I had self-esteem. I didn't know till I got grown up and was an adult that everybody didn't have self-esteem. I didn't understand that. I didn't realize that everybody didn't have self-confidence. I didn't realize that everybody didn't have self-worth. Gallup did a poll in 2016, worldwide, 87.6% of all the people on the planet. We'll just round it off. 87% of everybody that walks the face of the earth, 7.65 billion people, are unhappy. The high-performance people, the one thing that they all have in common is they're hungry. Hungry for a better life. Hungry for change. Hungry for the tough love their parents didn't give them.
So is that what it needs? You have to be hungry, you need to feel the pain?
Growth only comes through pain. No pain, no gain. It's the same in life. If love got the job done, you wouldn't need podcasts, you wouldn't need seminars. It doesn't. Tough love gets the job done. But being liked doesn't get you a raise when you're working for whoever you're working for. Efficiency, accountability. Most people that come to seminars are there because they weren't held accountable when they were growing up.
What is your definition of a high-performance person?
Being all that you can be every day. 24/7, 365, being all you can be. I asked the question a couple days ago. How many of you can raise your hand for this, how many of you have kids? Don't raise your hand now. How many of you would like to have your kids grow up just like your parents? You know the answer, don't you? Close to zero. Because they were shitty role models. Now, I'm not going to ask the second question. How many of you would like your kids to grow up and be like you? But being a high-performance person is a full-time job. I'm like this when I wake up in the morning to brush my teeth. I'm like this when I brush my teeth before I go to sleep. I'm like this 24/7, 365, and I've been like this for the better part of 50 years. I'm always like this. I'm always pushing the edge of the envelope. But the sun is going to gobble up the earth in about between 7 and 11 billion years. Although I'm planning on living a long time, I'm not going to live quite that long. But just work hard. I don't know any other thing than hard work. And hard work is out of favor now. It just is. But I'm a dying breed. I'm a Neanderthal. I understand that. I'm sad to say that because I know it's a sad commentary for the human race. Because you're not willing to make any sacrifices to be high performance. I still work 50, 60, I don't consider it work. I still work 50, 60 hours a week. And I haven't had to work in 35 years. So the bottom line, you're not willing to do anything. You're not willing to sacrifice anything to be a high performance person. It sounds strange in hindsight. I found making $450 million easy. Easy. And I wanted to do something more with my life. And so when I got into the financial coaching, I wanted to change the fabric of financial coaching, which I have. And I wanted to be known as and now that's what they call me, the greatest of all time. But this was just me flapping my mouth 25 years ago. Now I am the greatest of all time, vis-a-vis creating wealth through people like yourselves. And I wanted to leave that legacy. And I wanted people like, I'm from the barrio, I'm a real rough background, been in jail 5 times, did a lot of ugly things. But I'm glad it happened to me because I know what the other side, like some of you have never been kicked in the teeth. I know what it is to be kicked in the teeth and my teeth be on the pavement. I know what that feels like. I know the humiliation. Forget the pain, you get over the pain. I wanted the poor kids to understand that they had a methodology, there was a methodology used by one of them that was once poor and got in a lot of trouble. You can do it if you want to do it bad enough. The operative part of that little description is if you want it bad enough. Muhammad Ali, arguably one of the greatest fighters ever, he was talking shit since he was 14, 15 years old. I'm the greatest. Before he ever had a professional fight. My father said, if you've got something in your mind, it should come out of your lips. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And you've been taught all your life not to ask. You've been trained, keep your head down, don't embarrass yourself, don't embarrass the family, don't say things that may not happen. And I do just the opposite. I tell you to set goals beyond your lifetime. I tell you to set goals as soon as humanly possible. When kids come to me, they want to make $1 million, 10 million, and then when they've made 100 million, they say, Mr. Pena, we would have never, ever dreamt that we could create 100 million until we met you. You will never exceed your highest expectation. You will never exceed your highest, craziest thought. Never. That's a guarantee. But kids, you can have whatever you want.
think earning money is one of the simplest things I've ever done, and it's one of the most misunderstood things. If this worked for me, it would work for anybody. I want you to think about your life, and I want you to think about your income. I want you to think about money. Money's subject that is a subject that a lot of people want to talk about. And when you do talk about it, a lot of people get defensive. They say, well, money's not everything. Well, that's sort of a ridiculous statement. Of course it's not everything. But money's important. It's very important. I frequently ask a person if they come to work with me, what's the most you've ever earned in a year? I really don't care what the answer is, but I want to know what the answer is. Because when they tell me the answer, what they're doing is telling me where their mind is programmed with respect to money. See, our mind is programmed. You're working with a program, I'm working with a program. Now, most people are working with a program that someone else built. They are the production of somebody else's habitual way of thinking. I'm going to suggest that you can rewrite the program.
The problems that you're facing, maybe the lack of money, or the loved ones telling you you're crazy, you're wasting your time, get a job. What do you do?
If you've already got it, it's really good to hear it again. If you haven't got it, you're going to love it. It's really about how to create all you want. You have to have multiple sources of income. You can go back to the ancient Babylonians, as far back in ancient history as you can go, and you're going to find that the wealthy people all had multiple sources of income. 3% of our population are earning 97% of all the money that's being earned. And everybody says that's unfair. Well, it's based on a law. That's really what it's based on. Our income is the harvest of our production. That's really what it is. But 3%, some of those 3% are not very well educated insofar as we look at education. Some of them are functionally illiterate. They can neither read nor write. Now, some of them are absolutely brilliant. But you're going to find people that are absolutely brilliant that fall into the 97% category that have to split up 3% of the money that's earned. Why and how does this happen? My income went from $4,000 to $175,000 in a year. And it was based on the concept that I want to explain to you. But what we have to understand is that the earning of money is something that doesn't happen by accident. Wealthy people historically have always had multiple sources of income. This isn't an accident. It's by design. You can design this. There is an absolute law governs compensation. We know that there's a law. If I let this go, you know it's going to fall. If I let this go, it's going to fall. It's not going to go up. It has to go down. It has to go down. That is an absolute law. It's called the law of gravity. That's a law of the world. The law of compensation is a law. And it's very exact. I want you to really pay attention to it because this law clearly states that the amount of money you earn is in direct ratio. It's in exact ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. You see, in my particular business, there's the opportunity to earn millions of dollars, and I have earned millions of dollars. Not because I'm smarter than the next guy, and it's not because I'm lucky. It's because I find myself in a field where there's a tremendous need for what I do. When you find a tremendous need, and then you develop your ability to fill it, you've got to become very, very good at filling the need. Take a bucket of water and put your hand in up to the wrist. When you pull it up, the hole that remains is just how much will be missed. You can stir all you want as you enter. Stir up the water galore. But stop and you're going to find no time. It's much the same as before. Well, what they were getting across is there's no such thing as an indispensable person, but some people are very difficult to replace. And if you make up your mind you're going to get really good at this, you just want to focus on your ability to improve. Become a master at whatever you're doing. Now, this is the focus. The money is the reward. This is the cause, the money is the effect. Take care of the cause, the effect will always take care of itself. Think of Elvis Presley. His estate is still earning money from records of his that are being played on the radio. And those recordings are being played on the radio, and every time they're played, money goes into his estate. That's called a passive income. That's called a source of income. Well, you can start sources of income. You can start them all over the world. You may say, well, how? Well, you don't have to know how. You just have to make a decision that you're going to do it. The how will come. Don't let the how trip you. And once you get one going, then you get another one. See, I believe you can set up sources of income that are very closely attached to what you're already doing. You may say, well, I don't know how to do this. Well, of course you don't. Not to start with. I didn't know how to do it when I started. I didn't even know how to read very well when I started. I hadn't gone to school. I had 2 months high school. I had no business experience. How did I start? I'll tell you exactly how I started. I borrowed $1,000. I bought a used forming machine and some buckets and mops. I started in the cleaning business. And I started by cleaning one office, washing the floor twice a month, $15 a time. Then I got another office at $65 a month. Now I'm up to $95. I was only earning $400 a month to start with. Do you know, one day I passed out on the street. I thought the answer was work harder, get another office to clean. But it didn't work that way. I was exhausted. I thought the answer was work harder. That is not the answer. I realized it was like something inside of me said, Bob, you're doing something wrong. And then another little voice said, if you can't clean all of them, don't clean any of them. Do you know, over the next 5 years, I was cleaning offices in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, London, England, and the income was just rolling in from all over the place. Now, I'm not telling you to go clean offices. I'm telling you that I stumbled on something. It took me 10 years to find out what I was doing different. I had set up multiple sources of income. Now, as you set these up, you'll be asking, well, are they all the same size? Do you earn the same on all of them? No. Some of them won't even work. Some of them will die on you. There's so many ways of doing it. You could become a network marketer. You could become an online marketer. You could become an affiliate marketer. See, you want to make a decision that you are going to set up multiple sources of income. You don't have to know how. When you make the decision, you will start to attract how you're going to do it. Some of them will grow and some of them will die. But you know something? They all have one thing in common. They all flow into your bank. Some will be big and some will be small. It's absolutely phenomenal how this works. It all flows into your bank. Great idea. Just an absolutely beautiful idea. That's right. That's where it happens. Now that's an affirmation I've been using for a long, long time. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. You keep repeating a positive statement. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Now, we started out by saying only 3% of the people earn 97% of all the money. So the odds of your kids growing up to learn how to earn money is pretty slim. If you don't teach them, they probably won't get it because they're not going to get it in school. School does not teach us how to earn money. There's no place. They say, well, that's absurd. You go to work to earn money. No, you don't. That's not a good idea. You think you provide service to earn money. You can earn more money when you're sleeping than you can spend when you're awake once you get good at this. Now, we all get the same amount of time. We get all there is. So it's what we do with our time that's really going to make the difference. 3% of the population are following this strategy. It's where you invest money to earn money. How do they do this differently? They set up multiple sources of income. They multiply their time by setting up multiple sources of income. Now, if you really want to win in a big way, that's how you're going to do it. It's so basic and so simple. Well, you can learn more about it, but you want to study it. You want to study money, multiple sources of income, MSIs. There's no end to what you can do. There's absolutely no end to what you can do. But you've got to decide what you can do. Sit down and write out how you want to live. And it doesn't matter what it costs. You write it down, and then you only think of how to do it. And you set up multiple sources. Now, let's suppose you have never touched a computer in your life. And you're going to learn how to use the computer, how to work with it. It's going to take you a while. And the strange thing about computers, when you learn something, it leads you into learning something else, and then you learn something else. It's sort of like an evolution that takes place in your mind as you start working. At least that's the way I found it, most of the people I know. When I first started, I didn't even know how to turn it on. Well, when you make up your mind that you're going to earn yourself a specific amount of money every year, and you might set that magic million. Anybody can learn how to earn $1 million. I believe I can teach anybody how to do that. But you've got to decide you're going to do it. And if you don't decide you're going to do it, the odds of it happening are pretty slim. Now, is it going to happen overnight? No, nothing happens overnight like that. But over a period of time, let's say over 6 months, you're going to learn how to master this thing. You're going to learn how to set up MSIs. And after you learn how to do it, then you're going to start to learn how to multiply it.
I don't think that success is like a lot of people believe it is, and for any really successful person. I think that everybody's always struggling. And what happens is, you just struggle at a higher level. It's like learning how to ski or play some sport, and you're just kind of doing this higher thing, but it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like I'm struggling. And I think it's, and it's a good feeling. The way I think of it is, I've always thought that it's like, in order to be successful in life, you have to cross a jungle. Or you can stay on the other side of the jungle and not cross the jungle. But if you choose to cross the jungle has all sorts of things that can do you harm and bite you and everything along those lines. And so the best way to do that is to go into that with people who can see things differently and watch themselves and struggle to make it to the other side. And then what I've discovered along the way is that it's always a struggle, and I enjoy being in the jungle. I don't want to get to the other side. I don't want to get out. So that's what it feels like to me.
Then what's your advice to these small business founders today?
Work hard. You're going to need some luck, but the harder you work, the luckier you get. And if it doesn't work out, that's not the end of the world. I just don't have anything in common with people that sit there and say, oh my God, it was terrible. So it's water over the dam, under the bridge. Get on with it and start another business the next day or another career. And be honest, look in the mirror and say, why didn't it work out? Well, it wasn't the skill set, or I didn't have the temperament for it, or I was in the wrong place, wrong time. Maybe I can afford to do it again, maybe I can't. But people aren't honest with themselves. What I've always done is I've taken a yellow pad, I draw a line down the middle, write out the pros on one side, the cons on another, in the sense that if I let you see it, you wouldn't laugh at me. And then when I get done, I just rip it up and throw it away, because I've worked out in my mind what is real and what isn't, and what I can present to people and what I can't.
I think many kids and many grown-ups do figure out over time what their passions are. And sometimes we let I don't think it's that hard. I think what happens though sometimes is that we let our intellectual selves overrule those passions. And so that's what needs to be guarded against. Kids are very good about knowing what their passions are.
Being young and trying things, you're so naive and you don't know any better. All you do is learn. And if you fail, it doesn't matter. And so whether I was 9, 10, 12, 16, 21, the failures were irrelevant. And whether you're 9, 12, 16, 21, 22, 24, I'm sleeping on the couch. I have a car with a hole in the floorboard. I'm living like a bum and like a student. And so what did I have to lose? And so I think that influenced me as much as anything. So it was, my dad was like, go for it. Why not? What have you got to lose? You have to sleep on a different couch. So I think that was motivation.
It's a gift if you can keep your childlike sense of wonder. And it helps with creativity. It helps to have fun. You laugh more and play more if you keep that childlike sense of wonder.
I think if you believe in what you're doing, many people will tell you, why you're mistaken, why it'll never work. But if you really believe passionately in what you're doing, just keep going, keep pushing on, until you either succeed or at least you realise that it's just not going to happen. And then if you don't succeed, pick yourself up and try again. And ultimately, if you're that determined, you will succeed in life. And if you don't, you'll have a hell of a lot of fun trying.
I don't think that you can invent on behalf of customers unless you're willing to think long term, because a lot of invention doesn't work. If you're going to invent, it means you're going to experiment. You have to think long term. So these three ideas, customer centricity, long-term thinking, and a passion for invention, those go together. That's how we do it. And by the way, we have a lot of fun doing it that way.
A lot of times my issue is people are not setting goals that will be something that somebody who becomes rich or could do anything, you got to be excited about working on that for 10 years. So you got to have a big enough goal that you attract the best people and you retain them and you keep them focused. And then in my experience, you don't go wrong. Maybe you don't hit it next year, or maybe you fail entirely and you discover something more exciting to work on with the same set of people.
Do something you're very passionate about, and don't try to chase what is kind of the hot passion of the day. I think we actually saw this, I think you see it all over the place in many different contexts, but I think we saw it in the internet world quite a bit, where at the sort of peak of the sort of internet mania in say 1999, we found people who were very passionate about something. They kind of left that job and decided, I'm going to do something on the internet, because it's almost like the 1849 gold rush in a way. I mean, you find that people, if you go back and study the history of the 1849 gold rush, you find that at that time everybody who was within the shouting distance of California was, they might have been a doctor, but they quit being a doctor and they started panning for gold. And that almost never works. And even if it does work, according to some metric, financial success or whatever it might be, I suspect it leaves you ultimately unsatisfied. So you really need to be very clear with yourself. And I think one of the best ways to do that is this notion of projecting yourself forward to age 80, looking back on your life and trying to make sure you've minimized the number of regrets you have. That works for career decisions, it works for family decisions.
The life that you see me living today is not where I came from. So that you understand, today I have, I think we have 15 companies. 4 of them got started this year. 15 companies will do $150 million in sales. Okay, all these companies were started with no money. Say 10x if you've ever had no money. Say 10x if you've ever had no good enough credit to get debt. Yeah, that's where I came from. No money, no. How about this? Say 10x if you don't have any connections, like nobody knows you exist. That's how I grew up. Nobody knew me, no connections, no money, in debt. Drug problem. Okay, not all of you need to claim you got that one. Some of you might need to say 5x. Okay. I had a serious drug problem. From the age of 16 years old to 25 years old, I was using drugs every day and I hated myself. To know where I am today, okay? Last week, 6 days ago, we closed $253 million worth of real estate in Miami, okay, with my money. Now, hey, yeah, you should clap. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little lesson. I'll give you a little lesson. You should be like, God dang. You know what? You should clap, you should yell, you should scream every time you see success. The moment, okay, because the moment that you can celebrate success, you can have it. Okay, you guys all got it figured out how to celebrate failing. Everybody's like, oh yeah, man, oh shit. I'm sorry, man. Oh, let me tell you about how messed up I am, man. This happened to me, and that happened to me, and this happened to me, and that happened to me, and everybody's like, oh, me too. It's me too, man. Me too, man. Be grateful. Be grateful for what, dude? I got a drug problem. I'm out of money. I'm in debt. Nobody likes me. I hate myself. Be grateful for what? Be grateful you're alive. Be grateful. It's about time I get disappointed. It's about time I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? You cannot contribute to this planet if you're messed up. You cannot contribute to this planet if you're running this little scam on yourself about how grateful you are because you somehow have it better than someone else that's got it terrible. You can always find a case to make your case better. How many agree with that? You can always be like, yeah, man, I got it bad, but he's got it worse, so this is all right. It ain't all right. I was making sense of it not being all right for too many years. I had the idea that one day I would buy real estate. I've always loved real estate. Okay, I have $1.2 billion worth of real estate under control so that I could do what's important to me. Okay, what's important to me is to be able to give back and help other people. Created a foundation that's raised over $100 million for other charities. Launched my charity for kids without fathers. We raised $1.2 million the first night. Okay? Yeah, thank you. You're like, why am I clapping? Because you need to celebrate success. Okay? You don't need to celebrate feelings. Yo, how do you feel? Who cares? Dude, if you take every feeling you have and run down the feeling road, I'm scared. Good, you get nothing out of that little rabbit hole. Everybody agree? I'm scared right now. Okay, I have insecurities. How many have been insecure? Well, don't try to get a bank loan. You want to pay us back? Not sure. I want to. Are you going to be able to pay us back, man? You can't follow your feelings into the bank. So tonight, I want to show you what I've discovered here in the last 30 years of my career, okay? But most importantly, the last 8 years. My last 8 years have dwarfed everything I did the 22 years before. How many hard workers in the room? How many of you work hard? Good. Give yourselves a hand. Okay, that hard work will not get you rich. Okay, I did hard work for 22 years. Okay, hard work will not get it done. How many of you save your money? You save. You're frugal. You're like, okay, I'm buying a belt. I buy a belt. It's going to be on sale for sure. This belt was bought on sale. I'm like, I can go a little longer. I'll wait. I don't have any Hermes belts. I didn't even know how to say Hermes. Okay? The guy got it. He got an H on his belt. His name is Eric. It's stupid, man. How you doing? You all right? You all right? She's thinking about it. She's like, how much stuff have I bought? With somebody else's name on it. Think about it. You can't write off an Hermes belt. This is how I grew up, right here, okay? 25 years old, I'm paying $275 a month, and I can't make the rent. I was late at least 6 months of the 12 months. Couldn't look the guy in the eye, dodging it. You live in this country and you got a money problem, you are f***ed up. Seriously, come on, man. Like, you're like, wait a minute. Excuse me if that offended you, by the way. Is it Sunday yet? Okay, some of y'all confused. You're like so confused. You're like, he said that? That's the least of your problems. The least of your problems is what I say, how I dress, how I act, and what I do, okay? For every criticism another human being has about me, I have 100 of them. Save yourself the time and the energy. Worry about your own bank. Okay? People spending so much time with my character defects, they can't make money. Okay? I ain't got time for it, dude. I'm trying to take care of my family. How many want to take care of your family? All right? Okay? This is what gets me excited right here. See a little 7-year-old right there. Scarlett, show her. Come run up across here. Do a cartwheel for me, buddy. Oh, yeah. You a gangster. She has never been told don't talk to strangers. Never. Why would I tell her not to talk to strangers? When strangers have everything she wants. Everything that you want, every dream that is possible, A stranger will make it come true. How many of you'd like to write a book in your lifetime? Good. Guess who's going to buy it? Your family ain't going to buy it. They're like, hey, this bullshit. Hey, I ain't buying the book. You're selling real estate. How many real estate people here in the room today? Yeah. Your family's not even qualified to buy your house. Would you? Oh, okay. Right? My mama used to tell me, she'd be like, hey, we're going to go over to Uncle Jay's house today. Now look, don't talk business with him. Keep them separate. Okay? Family, business. Everybody with me? How many of you were told that before? Don't do business with family. I said, okay, wait a minute. Don't talk to strangers. And don't do business with family. This is gonna be hard. What do I do? All right, okay. Here's 20 things. I can't do all 20 of these today. Here's 20 things that changed my life. From where I was to today, flying in on, when we landed, I said, Jared, I don't know where Jared is, my wife, I said, guys, can you believe we just flew in on a Gulfstream 550? Okay? I mean, it's stupid, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. How many agree it's ridiculous? It's a brand new jet. It's a $50 million jet, man. The pilot says, do you want to see what the gas bill is? I said, no, not really. I don't care what the gas costs, dog. I cared what the gas cost when I was 25 and lost. I have found myself. I do not care what the cost of the fuel is. All right? I'm giving you a lesson right now. Okay? I'm giving you a money lesson right now. If your problem is the cost of fuel, you ain't got any chance of financial freedom. You know, you got a little wad in your pocket. You're like, oh, this is it. You got little boxes all over the house, in the wall, hammered into the wall, protecting it. Little like, oh my God, that's it. It's that money. And money's not what you want. You want freedom. This isn't what you want, pieces of garbage paper. That's for the camera. Okay, this is what changed my life. Personal growth, sales and marketing, social media marketing, staying motivated. How many like to stay motivated all the time? Keeping your pipeline full constantly, all right? Discipline and daily rituals, time management, relentless follower, relentless. I've been following up on people for 17 and 18 and 19 years without a return phone call. The woman I'm married to, Elena, stand up. Hit my wife right there, man. Hit her with the camera. Yeah, awesome human being right there. Awesome human being, okay? If it wasn't for two women in my life, I would not be here today. The jet, the real estate, the money, the success, none of it matters without family. But my family needs money. Does your family need money? Right? How can you say, hey man, I'm the best father in the world, but you can't feed your kids? I'm the best father in the world, but I can't buy them a bicycle. Okay? Or I'm the best father in the world, I buy them a bicycle, and now I got to worry about it, and I'm a little resentful that I had to buy the bicycle for the kids. We're getting ready to go on a trip for 30 some odd days, all right? I don't want to be without my kids. I didn't see my dad. My dad died when I was 10 years old. Heart blew up in his chest. Gone, abandoned me. Death took him. I don't have a dad. Because I didn't have a dad, I went bad. I didn't have any discipline. I didn't have any leadership. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't know how to act. So I just started. How many of you done this before? You just start reaching out to your friends and your neighbors and maybe they're screwed up too. I got all my financial advice from my buddies and the school system and my mother. My mother's going to teach me about money. A penny saved is a penny earned. How many of you know that saying? A penny saved is? It's a penny. My mama complicated it. She could have just been like, a penny is a penny. My mama saved pennies, saved them. We had drawers of pennies and nickels and dimes. They're gonna compound. 20 things that changed my life. Handling fear and rejection. Believing in myself. Believing I should have money. Believing I should have assets. Believing I should have wealth. Believing I should have multiple flows of income. Recovering from losses. Is that important? Hey, avoiding them and recovering when you have them. Spirituality and enlightenment. Number one most important thing in my life is my personal spiritual development. I changed at 25 years old when I walked in a room like this and saw people interested in improvement, enhancement, empowerment, in books. I don't like to read. I'm not that guy that's like, I love to read books. I don't like to read books, but I do. Because I like being broke less than I like reading. And when I realized that Bill Gates read 23 books on a holiday, I'm like, maybe I need to read. Okay. Maybe I need to read one book. One book. Average American reads one book a year. Come on, man. If you read one book a month, you tell me between now and 2020 this time, your life wouldn't get better. A bad book is better than no book. Big think, taking risk. I need to get around people that are taking risk with money. There you go. Okay? Negotiating and closing deals, collaborating and partnerships. These things have changed my life. The work-life balance thing. If you want work-life balance, guess what you need a bunch of? That ain't coming without the Monet pieces of paper. Useless pieces of paper, like. Kings don't act like that. Everybody agree? Anybody got a lighter? Who's got a lighter? Put a little fire on this, see what happens, man. Put a little fire on this thing. Let's see how long this maintains, man. Go ahead, hit it, man. Just hit it. Let's see if it works. Oh, it's burning. I'm gonna leave this right here. I'm gonna leave this right here and see if it does anything. All right, folks? That's what you guys are doing with your money. Save your money, save your money, save your money. You guys trust the banks more than you trust yourself. Listen to what I just said. You trust the banks more than you trust yourself. I'm gonna earn money, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna pay the federal government, and whatever's left over, I'm gonna stash it over here. If the target is actually freedom, then you're gonna be like, oh, 1 million won't get me there. I do the math on 1 million, I rip 1 million up so fast, it'd be like, boom, gone. Okay, you wanna see the math on $1 million? Let me get my wad right here, because my grandpa taught me something about that, I'm gonna teach him. Okay, here's $1 million. Here's that old $1 million dream. In Atlanta, 400 grand goes to the IR and the S. Okay? If you hate the IR and the S, just say, I hate the IR and the S. I hate them. Who doesn't hate them? I hate them. I hate them. I hope they find this video right now. I hate you. I hate you, and I'm going to do everything I can not to pay you. Every damn thing I can. I'm saying it right now. Bring this video to the deposition. I hate your goddamn guts. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And if I can figure out a way not to give you money, I will figure it out. You know what? You know what? Because I love my kids and my wife more than anybody else. So I'm gonna figure out the code. I'm gonna figure out how the game's played. Because there's people on this planet playing the game without paying the taxes. Hey, don't hate the player. Don't hate the player. And I tell you this, don't hate the game either. Embrace the game. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, you can, if you pack a wad like this, folks, you will end up broke. Okay? If I carry money around with me like this, how many believe sooner or later it's gonna disappear? I'ma lose it, I'ma spill it, I'ma burn it. Johnny gonna take it from me. Something's gonna happen. Everybody agree? Scarlett, you can have all this, Scarlett. Okay? She earned it. She earned it. She earned it. Okay? She earned it. Okay, hey, you're spilling money. Get off here. Get out of here, man. Okay, okay. Don't let. Hey, don't let. Watch out that man right there. Okay. Everybody stand up for me real quick. Okay. Okay. Everybody stand up for me real quick. All right. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. Repeat after me. Repeat after me. Have you had a good time here today? Good. Good. Repeat after me. This is my time. No. This is my time.
You have to picture yourself there. Wherever it is, you've got to picture yourself there. All right, the next step is you've got to believe it.
I'm here to tell you, as a former professional athlete, all we talked about was the next level, and most people think the next level is a cliche. The next level is not a cliche. The next level is a lifestyle. The next level is a tangible place. In 3 years, I doubled my NBA income in the marketplace. That's what I call the next level. See, I firmly believe that making money is easy. I've been in business 15 years. Every year, my salary and income gets bigger, stronger, and faster. Why? Because I understand the keys to that proverbial next level. You are in charge of your next level. You cannot expect to get promoted to that next level if you are mediocre. Some of you guys are doing a $5 million, you want to get to the next level, it's going to require you to become somebody different. If you're at 10 million, you want to get to 20 million, you can, but you must become someone different.
%76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 64% of Americans that have businesses break even or lose money. Most people don't have any money and have accepted the fact that they don't have any money. They don't have any leftover money. They're fearful of money constantly. They overspend. They don't know how to produce money. They definitely don't know how to multiply it. The land of the brave and the home of the free, it's not even close to the truth.
It's just important for people to understand that complaining has no value. And if you complain about not having enough money, work more. If you complain about not having work-life balance, spend more time on vacationing in your family. It's super simple. Let your actions dictate instead of sitting there and feeling like you're not in control.
Poor people say, I can't afford it, I can't do that, I don't have time. It's an escape, you know what I mean? It's easy to say, I can't afford it. Oh, I'm too tired. Oh, I can't go to the gym. You know, when you could go to the gym, but no, I can't. Truth is, I'm just too lazy to go to the gym.
Money doesn't have value, right? And this is an important thing that most people don't immediately understand, is that money itself doesn't have value. Money is a vector for transmitting value. It's how you express value. But the value isn't in the money, it's in the product or service you bought with it, and it's in the labor you gave in order to acquire it in the first place. That's where the value comes from. There's nothing intrinsically valuable in the money.
You shouldn't put money in a house, you should put money in your brand. You should put money in the marketing. You should promote yourself, not put money in where you and the kids live.
Right. Why is that a mistake?
Because it's dead money. I mean, it can't, a house can't make you money. A house does not make you money. The only reason people think a house makes them money is they're comparing it to, if I rent, that costs me money. But, you know, if you need to go to a hospital, you don't buy the hospital. You rent a bed to get out of there as fast as you can. If you go on a trip, you go to America and you want to go to Disneyland, you don't buy the hotel, you rent a room. And nobody thinks poorly of that. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna go there, use the place and get out. That's what you should be doing with your living. Find a place where you can rent. Pay rent monthly. Don't own the house. and take all the money that you would have put in that house purchase, down payment, use all that money to improve your business and yourself so that you can get more money. So I see so many people here like, I'm gonna invest 300,000 pounds in a house to hopefully make $30,000. I'm gonna buy it for 300, maybe I'll sell it for 600,000. I'll double my money. Fixed in one place, by the way, where no money comes to you. Money does not go to homes.
Right, and that's a big thing on your career is moving locations, because people who stay in the same place get too comfortable.
If you study wealthy people, they're mercurial. They're moving, they're mobile. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates do not talk about the home they live in. They talk about the places they're going to. They go meet money, they go meet wealth, they go meet connections.
People are stunningly accepting of anything if they actually believe that's the purest form of it. I think I'd be less acceptable if I hedged. I really do. People will accept you. People accept everything. Just be you. Be you, and clearly people react. When you're trying to fake something and you've got bad intent, well then that's visceral and we hate. But I actually think we don't give love to the person that actually knows they have it and they're trying to fake it to conform. Hence why I won't adjust to this market all the way, because I don't think I'll be respected. I know what my intent is, so why would I be scared? I want to build the biggest building in town. That's who I am. And you know how I want to do that? By building the biggest building in town. And a lot of people want to build the biggest building in town, and you know how they want to do it? By tearing everybody else's building down.
Poverty is passed on. It's taught in your families. And middle class is taught in families. And so the people right now who are sitting at home, who are struggling financially or worried about money or unhappy, they may be making a lot of money, but unhappy with what they're doing, it was probably taught to you. You know, your super ego was taught, get a job, work hard, or you'll never be rich, or the rich are evil, or whatever. I know the game of the rich. My rich dad taught me, you know it because you're the banker. The bankers and the rich play is different than what they teach you in school. All over the world, what does school teach you about money? And the answer is nothing. And that's not a mistake. That's not an accident. I knew that, most people know that. The way to keep the poor and middle class working hard is never teach them what the rich know. So if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which came out in 1997, it's what the rich teach their kids about money, the poor and middle class do not. Poverty hurts. I mean, I don't like it. And I don't like that our academic system's so corrupt. You know, we know the banking system's corrupt. We know politics is corrupt. But academics is just as corrupt.
I mean, one thing if it's the banking and the politics, but this is where we send our children and we trust them to do the right things for them, and yet they're being not taught something so fundamental. Like you asked your dad when you were a kid, Dad, you asked your teacher, when are you going to teach us about money? And it was just, never.
And they'll never will. You know something. What do you know? Share it. What is financial education? It's not get a job, work hard, save money, and invest in a well-diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. The financial industry is two things, debt and taxes. In 1971, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and the US dollar became debt. And we still tell kids to go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, and get out of debt. Now, who tells them to do that? That's the most ridiculous thing there is.
The book starts and it says, lie number 1, saving money will make you rich.
Yeah, you never will. You know that.
All taught that as kids.
Why would you save it and why would you work for it if they can print it faster than you can work for it? Why do you keep saving when they're printing it? The rich don't work for money. Don't you touch that stuff.
It's very subtle, right?
Yep.
They don't say, I'm going to train you to be a worker bee the rest of your life, but they educate you in a way where that's what you come out.
Right.
What else was what was he trying to do those first few months were you working for him? What was he trying to get across to you? Because he taught you the hard way about money.
And she says, if you're going to be successful in your life, you've got to find the best teachers. And a great teacher is somebody who comes from the inside, not the outside. But in school, you don't know if your instructor is for real or not. That's where the fake teacher comes from. I said, I want you to teach me about money. So he said, why should I teach you? He said, but if I teach you, you work for me for free. And I said, why for free? And my poor dad went nuts. He says, if I pay you, you think like an employee. Your brain will change. If you learn never to work for money, you'll be a rich man.
And this is powerful. Once you give someone a paycheck, their brain turns off.
Right.
Because it's...
And then the promise of a pension.
Right.
And job security.
Which is kind of a paycheck in disguise.
Correct.
After you start working. Give the man a fish, eats for the day, teach him to fish, eats for a lifetime. And most poor people confuse assets for liabilities. They think their home is an asset, it's actually a liability.
Right. An asset is a noun, like a house. Cash flow is a verb. So to understand if it's an asset or liability, it takes a noun plus a verb. So if the cash is flowing out of your pocket, it's a liability. If the cash is flowing into your pocket, asset, it's an asset. So I own 7,000 rental properties. Those are assets. Every month, the cash flows in. Whereas many people have the big house on the hill and the cash is flowing out. And they're going broke.
Right, it's like a frame of mind. The other thing the poor don't understand is the number one expense for most people is taxes. And yet we don't even see it. Isn't that weird? You walk around and you look at the paycheck and say, that doesn't seem right, and you don't realize that the government's got a huge hand in your pocket, and you are doing nothing to minimize that. Again, this is what is very different about the rich and the poor.
The rich don't work for money. His number one expense is tax. See, there's three kinds of income. Earned, portfolio, passive. So earned income is if I get a job, that's earned income. If I'm a doctor or a programmer, that's earned income, because I'm working for it. If I buy, let's say, Apple for $10 and I sell it for $20, that's portfolio income, capital gains. But passive income, which is cash flow, is never yours. And so these guys are screaming right now in America, tax the rich. I said, good luck. Because most of the guys complaining, they don't know there's three kinds of income. And the rich don't have jobs anyway. They have assets.
I am here to tell you that you can come from nothing and become something. But you're going to have God. Now, you can come up with another way, but there ain't a book out there on the market how to make it without God. It's 1,000 books about faith and how to make it with God. You're not going to make it without Him. You can short circuit your ticket by just putting some faith in God. The two most important days of your life is the day you're born and the day you discover why. All you have to do is uncover this gift that God gave you at birth, the one that He created in every living soul. He never created a person that He didn't give a gift to. All you got to do is uncover that gift that He gave you and start using it. The Bible says your gift will make room for you. Let me tell you something a guy told me one time. He said, Steve, I had a job. He said, if you want to see how your life gonna be, he said, I want you to follow your boss home one day. I didn't think nothing of it. He said, see what he driving, see the house he living in, and see who greeted him at the door. So it took me about 6 months and I was thinking about it. I decided to follow my boss home one day. I really did this. So I got out and I just sat in the parking lot. He worked late, I just waited. We started driving home. The car he was driving was not the car I dreamed of owning. Then he pulled up in front of the house. And the house he pulled up in front of was not the house that I was dreaming of owning. And then his wife came to the door. And when she came to the door, that damn show wasn't who I was dreaming of opening up the door for me every day. And he told me, he said, you will never make more money than your boss makes. So if that's the car he driving, that's the car you're gonna be able to get. If if that's the house he live in, that's the house you'll be living in. And if that's who greet him at the door, that's pretty much the chick you gonna get. After I could have dealt with the car. I could have dealt with the house. But when that chick came to that front door and I looked at her, I said, I got to quit this job. Because that just wasn't what I had dreamed of. You have got to make some decisions in your life, but you got to tie it to this gift. Your gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort.